Hey guys, guess what? I got a new webcam. Yeah, the one that I've been using is the one that came with my laptop, and it's really crappy, which you guys probably know because it's been the one that I've used for the last few videos I've made. And it's just a pain in the butt to be bringing out my digital camera and setting up the tripod and stuff, so this is just easier for me. Anyway, it is reading update time once again. And I have 10 books I want to talk about today, which I know sounds like a lot for one video, but 7 of them are by the same author, so I'm just going to sort of lump them all together and talk about it as a series instead of individually to save time. And those books are all by the ridiculously, stupidly brilliant Karina Haley, and it's her Experiment in Terror series. So if you watched the review I did for the first book in the series, which is called Dark House, and incidentally, thank you guys so much for the reaction that I got to that video. It was so exciting for me because I got all of these comments and messages from people who, after watching my video, told me they went and they downloaded the book and they ended up loving it. And that's why I do this. That's why I do these videos. That's why I write reviews on my blog. Because if I can talk about a book that means something to me and you guys listen to me and it ends up meaning something to you, that is just beyond exciting for me. I mean, it might sound silly, but it just makes me feel really good. So thank you so much to everyone who responded. And yeah, so you guys are the reason that I still have my channel up, so there you go. Anyway, so if you watch that video, it will come as no surprise that this series has just been consuming my life for the last few weeks. If you don't know what it is, the Experiment in Terror series is a paranormal / horror / romantic series about these amateur ghost hunters who have a web series. And the ghost hunters are Perry Palomino and Dex Foray, who not only are 2 of my favorite characters in all of fiction, but they have 2 of the most badass character names I have ever come across. I mean, come on. Dex Foray and Perry Palomino. So kick-ass. Anyway, it's about all of their adventures, investigating all of these ghosts and paranormal things, but more importantly, it's more about their relationship, which is incredibly messed up, but also really, really beautiful in a dark and twisty kind of way. So, okay, let me see if I can do this without looking at my notes. The books that I read after Dark House, in order, have been, and these are including the novellas, Red Fox, Dead Sky Morning, Lying Season, On Demon's Wings, Old Blood, The Dex Files, and I'm missing one. I know I'm missing one. Oh, the Benson. Okay, so it was Red Fox, The Benson, Dead Sky Morning, Lying Season, On Demon Wings, Old Blood, and The Dex Files. There you go. Okay. A lot of people have commented, especially on Goodreads, that as the series goes on, it just gets better and better and better. This is very, very true. Although I absolutely love Dark House, each book after that has gotten increasingly better as we've gotten to know the characters more and more. And Karina's writing style has just gotten even more amazing. So once again, I'm not going to sit here and gush about it because you probably have had enough of that with the other video, but yes, if you haven't checked out the Experiment in Terror series, please, please, please do me a favor and do, because it is just phenomenally wonderful. Even if you think it's not really something that you would be interested in, just give it a try. Moving on now. And we are unfortunately moving on to a book that's sort of on the exact opposite end of the spectrum for me. Whereas I absolutely love the Experiment in Terror series, this sort of is definitely not that. And this is probably going to get me a lot of hate from people, but I don't really care. I'm being honest. So the next book I wanted to talk about is called Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. Yeah, I didn't like this book. at all. And honestly, I don't remember if I ever spoke about this on another video. If I did, I apologize. It's just I made so many attempts to read this book. But I finished it this time, and this was like my 6th or 7th attempt at reading this book. I was just bound and determined I was going to get through this book, no matter how hard and uncomfortable and miserable of an experience it ended up being. I had to get through it. I was stubborn that way, and I finally finished it, and that's pretty much the only positive thing I can say about it. And I definitely seem to be in the minority in my feelings about this book. But, okay, so if by some miracle you don't know what it's about this guy. His name is Travis. He is a amateur cage fighter, and he meets this girl named Abby who is in college and basically brain dead. And he becomes friends with her pretty much because everybody says that he can't be friends with a girl without sleeping with her. And her best friend move into his apartment with his cousin, who is also the best friend's boyfriend, because the pipes froze. And then there's this ridiculousness about a bet where if he wins a fight, she has to stay with him for another month. And if she wins, he has to go without sex for a month. And yeah, it's all very disturbing. And it's kind of like a really bad, cheesy soap opera on a very, very bad acid trip. And I know that probably sounds fun, but it's not. It's not. I really wish that I was one of those people who loved this book, because if I was, then reading this would have been a lot more enjoyable. And as it was a terribly miserable experience for me. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that book. Moving on. Okay, so the next book I wanted to mention is called Reaper's Property by Joanna Wild. This book was loaned to me by a lovely woman by the name of Pam on Goodreads, so thank you, Pam, if by some miracle you're watching this video. And this is a book about a motorcycle club named the Reapers. I know, who would have thought? There's this woman named Marie and her brother. Her brother works for the motorcycle club, and he starts being an idiot and stealing from them. Which, I mean, stealing is wrong to begin with, but stealing from a motorcycle club, not the most brilliant move ever. And there's this guy, a member of the motorcycle club, who decides that he is going to take Marie and use her as collateral, sort of as incentive to make sure that the brother pays his debt back. And she pretty much has to do everything he says, but yet at the same time he also tells her he's not holding her against her will and she can leave at any time, which is kind of the opposite of what he tells her in the beginning, but whatever. And yes, so this badass tattooed biker guy is named Horse. Let that sink in for a second. Yes, Horse. And yes, he has that name for exactly the reason you guys think he does. Okay, so this book was fun. It was kind of a throwaway book, which I know sounds kind of harsh, and I feel bad saying that, but it's one of those things where I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but I kind of really don't remember very much about it once I'm done with it. There were some things I didn't really like. I thought Horse was, and I feel really silly talking about a character named Horse. I thought Horse was incredibly domineering, and he went beyond the whole alpha thing to just plain bossy and mean at times. But, you know, other than that, it was enjoyable for what it was. So, yeah. Okay, and the last book I want to mention really super quickly, because I just did a video review for the book and the movie yesterday, and it is John Dies at the End by David Wong. 2 words to describe this book: fucking brilliant. Go out, read it if you are a adventurous soul. It is brilliant. It is crazy. It's unlike anything you've ever read, but it is such a great and fun journey. So go out, check it out. I will leave a link to that video review in the drop-down box if you want to hear me babble about both the book and the movie. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I wanted to really keep this video under 10 minutes, and I almost made it, people. I almost made it. Okay, so as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave me some love, people, and I will talk to you next time. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this, I'm getting ready to film the video where I finally answer the questions you guys asked me. So, yeah, I didn't forget. I've just been a lazy ass. So, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Happy reading, guys.